In Glendale, Arizona, husband and wife team Ken and Susan Brown started a little comic shop. Over the past 10 years, it has grown substantially. And in their nearly 11 years in business, the staple of the community upholds its tradition of giving a warm and friendly place for all those who love comics.
Or something that is once you get in the door, you see our passion and you kind of become, I don't want to say intoxicated with it, but you become interested just because of how much we love it. And that's really cool to see is the fact of like that passion still glows every day. I think that's what's helped the comic industry grow so much in a lot of ways. I mean, the internet was, oh man, the internet's going to kill comic shops. And I go, no, what the internet's doing is they're building interest in comics. And if you're building interest in comics, you have to learn more. And how do you learn more? You don't learn more by just going to the internet. You can do Wikipedia and you can do as much stuff like that as possible, but you learn from people that have actual experience. And how do you get actual experience from people? Is you go to comic shops and you talk to people that work in the industry.
In the past 10 years, the shop has grown a lot, starting out from a humble 500 square foot building to the one they occupy now at nearly 4,000 square feet. But there weren't always good times.
Yeah, that's the thing that was the beauty of being a long-term comic collector. There's unfortunately over time, I put together some pretty awesome comics, and like Amazing Fantasy 15s I've owned twice in my comic collecting history, and that's the first appearance of Spider-Man. You know, Hulk 181 I've owned 3 or 4 times, and that's the first appearance of Wolverine. Avengers #4, I was really good at learning how to find good value on key books that you knew were going to keep on rising in value over time. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of those comics anymore because I wanted to keep the store going. And that to me is like that, hey, if we can keep the store going, anything's replaceable, but the store is a one and done thing. And so that was where it turned into the, you have to think about the business side sometimes just as much as the enjoyment side. I really do truly believe that you have to keep the passion in what you're doing no matter what it is, but you have to be realistic too and as well. And parting with some of my favorite comics, that's the cost of doing what you're still doing and loving it every day.
Different being the owner, but it's another thing being the manager and employees and hiring people. We've learned over time, we've done different hiring, had different employees, and kind of have tweaked what we can now see what we really want in an employee. We want someone who's going to have the passion as we do. We want the person who's going to care about the place, to keep it organized and clean, and to care about the customers and know what they want. It's that whole well-rounded person.
I started shopping here when Ken first opened up about 11 years ago, and just the enthusiasm and the passion behind it. I mean, also being a fan of comics, I really wanted, to find a place, and, drawing a comic seemed like a really good place to, kind of fit in. So that's where I decided to kind of pick up and plug myself into. And it definitely feels like a family when you're here. There's definitely that vibe of, getting close with one another, and it's great. I mean, I've liked it, and definitely Ken's been a mentor to me over the years, and it's almost I wouldn't say father-like, because that I do have my own father and stuff like that too, but almost on the same degree. A good friend. Same thing with Susan. People have been there, kind of help. As I've grown up as well too. And it's just been really nice.
It's pretty difficult because each person does it different. Do you know what I mean? Like what we did, we started with a 500 square foot store. It's like I looked at rents, and just rents weren't in our budget the way that where I wanted to be. And we were down here at the Phoenix Comic Con when it was in downtown Glendale for a year or two. And this was something that was realistic, affordability wise, rent. And it's something that where we stashed away some money and we set with a budget. If we can go with that budget, then we're going to go forward. And we found a place that where it allowed us to start small and see how it goes and give it, 2 years was our goal. And if it didn't work within 2 years, then it was time for us to go back and do other stuff. And we're still here 11 years later.
There's many a nights, especially in the very beginning, we would be up to 3 o'clock in the mornings, getting stuff ready, organizing. My daughter would be asleep on a sleeping bag.
Ken and his family have kept the business going strong, but the future is always on his mind. I got the chance to ask him about his plans for the future.
Man, we are still trying to build more internet presence because once again, too, my number one focus, I always want to be the brick and mortar side of the store because that is our DNA. And we also are now, it's crazy to see what's happened. We moved to a 500 square foot store to where we are right now is at 5801 West Glendale. We start off at 5619. We now have a corner that goes from like the front corner back to the first alley, and that's all us now. And that's pretty absurd to think about like that. Okay, we now have close to 4,000 square feet of Drawn Comics from originally being 550 square feet. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like that. It's growing organically. And now we're just trying to more or less build up the budget to do everything that we want to do. Even though it's growing organically, there's more costs too that we have to take care of for that organic type of growth. And we would like to knock down a wall that's between the two locations that we are, occupying right now. And it is ideal for us to knock down the wall and have it go straight forward. Unfortunately, there's some numbers that are kind of unrealistic to do that with, but at the same time, it's not unrealistic for us to occupy that space. Hey guys, this is our expanded universe at the moment. Right here, what this has become is our overstock store. Everything in here is at least 50% off the original price. Our long-term plans is we'd like to knock down this wall over here and this and make it go straight through. And then that way we can extend our regular comic book stock all the way over here. We were thinking about making this just a liquidation center, but it's sometimes hard to get everybody to walk around to this back door or know it's even here. So it's not a huge thing, but it's something that we've noticed like that. It's after our year and a half of being here, we're gonna rethink how we're gonna model this as our extension of Drama Comics.